Dr. Miller here, and I just thought I would take a moment I'm driving home, so I thought I would talk about the top 5 nutrient-dense foods. We have a lot of, today I was harping on supplements. There was a study that came out about the fraud in the industry and how the FDA doesn't overlook it, the good manufacturing procedures is kind of lacking, and how there's, if you're buying metagenics, designs for health, and those types of things off of Amazon, then those are most likely fraud and scam because people are manufacturing their labels. And that's why your supplements might not work. But let's really take a moment right now and let's talk about what can you do to actually increase the nutrient value of the food that you are eating or intaking. So funny enough, the number one most nutrient-dense food are your organ meats. So we're talking about liver, whether it be beef or chicken or turkey, whatever the case may be. Now, this can't be the liver of confinement-fed feeding operation cows and chickens and things like that, because those aren't nutrient-dense. There's actually a study that shows that cows, when left to their own devices, eat what they are deficient in. So they took cows, they took their blood before they let them out to pasture, then they let them out to pasture, then they watched what they ate, they logged what they ate, and then they took their blood at the end of the day. And they found that these animals, when left to their own devices, supplement their diet just fine. It's when you start to put them in small cages or small pens or small pastures that they have problems. And then you have to supplement, which is what we do to human beings because our food is crap, and so we have to supplement. So that's the number one. You want this pastured food where these things have been allowed to go, run around, and be chickens and cows and turkeys and whatever the liver or the heart or whatever you're eating is eating. That's the most nutrient dense. The next are herbs and spices. These little things just pack a punch when it comes to vitamins, nutrition, bioflavonoids, and polyphenols. Very, very, very important to your health and well-being because we know that these polyphenols and bioflavonoids are now immunomodulators. They can help turn up the immune system or turn down. Why would you need to turn down the immune system? Well, just think about things like arthritis, autoimmune diseases, things of that nature. You've got to be able to turn the immune system down. So herbs and spices are very, very good at that. Number 3, we're going to say dark leafy greens and chocolate. These things are very nutrient dense, very packed with minerals and vitamins. Now, when I say chocolate, I'm not talking about your Hershey's or your Cadbury or your Dove. I'm talking about cacao. I'm talking about real chocolate that has not been adulterated. That is very, very nutrient-packed, lots of polyphenols. And, of course, you hear me always talking about your vitamins that are in all your reds and your yellows and your blues and your purples, all of these different bioflavonoids and polyphenols from the dark leafy greens. So your chocolates and your dark leafy greens, very, very important. And chocolate, good cacao, will actually help you sleep. The next are fatty fish. If you get good wild-caught fatty fish, the B vitamins, the omega-3s, all of that nutrition that is packed in the fat of the fish is super nutrient dense. And so fatty fish are very, very good for you. So let's run these down again. Organ meats, herbs and spices, chocolate and dark leafy greens, fatty fish like your salmon and such, and then last but not least, These things, we have a love-hate relationship with the last one. Oh, it causes cardiovascular disease. Oh, it causes cholesterol. Oh, it causes all of these issues. Let's just kind of put it to bed now. If you're eating eggs, and when you crack the egg and you drop it from a decent height, and that egg hits the skillet or the pan, and that yolk doesn't break, the yolk is not this pale, watery, yellow. It's this dark orange, full of carotenoids and stuff like that, full of vitamin A. When they're dark orange pastured eggs, they are super nutrient dense. And just think about it. That's the food that is supposed to build the baby chicken. And it does a great, great, great job for you in these things. So I didn't hit a lot of vegetables there. And vegetables are super important because you have to have the fiber. That fiber is so important to your microbiome that if you go without it, your microbiome changes and it becomes more pro-inflammatory. Otherwise, if you don't supply the fiber and feed the microbiome, then you lose the ability to have your short-chain fatty acids. Then you lose your ability to make your hormones and your neurotransmitters. And so a lot of the foods that I just named, the organ meats, the salmon, the eggs, the fatty fish, all of that jazz, even the chocolate and the greens, they don't have so much the amino acids that the others do, but those other, like animal products, have tons of amino acids, and your amino acids are needed for your neurotransmitters. When we see people with low neurotransmitter function, think depression, think anxiety, all of those types of things, and we start to read Van de Mentelate, those neurotransmitters are dependent on amino acids. You have to be getting enough amino acids so that your body can make those neurotransmitters. They can help make your short-chain fatty acids. They can help make your hormones. It's all interrelated. It's all there together. Well, I've gabbed at you enough, and so much for the drive time at home. I'm out of North Vernon and on the way home. Love you all. Peace. And we're happy to help you start to heal from the inside out, especially if you are looking for a food-first approach. That is what we do, a food-first approach, whether it's looking at hormones, whether it's looking at neurotransmitters, whether it's looking at the microbiome. It's about the food. The more we get, the less dependent we are on marketers and superfoods and special things, the better off we'll be. You all have a great evening. We'll see you next time.